Top of whatever time it is, gamers, and welcome back to Top 10 Gaming. Today, we're getting creepy again with an actual Top 10 creepypastas. You know the drill by now. If you're new or haven't yet, just hit like, subscribe, and the bell so we can get If you're new or just haven't yet, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so we can get into today's list of the top 10 Pikachu creepypastas you've never heard. Number 10, Death the Pikachu. This unknown author from the Creepy Staff Training Wiki was playing a Pokemon Red ROM. He skipped everything Oak said because he's already played Leaf Green. He named his character Death for unknown reasons and just went about his business. When he loaded into the game, he didn't have the sprite he wanted. He was instead a Pikachu, the fat, slightly different colored Pikachu from the early anime. The sprite was in color while everything else was black and white. There were also puddles of red blood all over the room he was in. He goes downstairs and he's all alone. He went outside but he lost control. Pikachu just had an exclamation point over his head. This was not Pallet Town. The music playing was the Lavender Town theme reversed, and there were trees covered in blood everywhere. Suddenly text appeared telling him to run, so he ran to the first route. All the Pokemon he encountered had organs coming out, and the trainer signs read things like die and don't let them get to you. Number 9, the POKEDEX. The unknown author of this story was playing with his Christmas present on December 30th, a replica POKEDEX. His family was at his grandparents and they didn't have batteries, so he was making the voice himself. The author was running around the house finding all kinds of Pokemon, even a Palkia. But when he found a Pikachu, the Pokedex turned itself on. Pikachu, the electric mouse Pokemon. It likes to feast on supple flesh of lesser beings. Now at the time, the user was 7 and he didn't understand what those words meant. He runs to show his dad that it turned on, but the father just laughed and thought that the author was making the sounds himself. He ushers the author off and continues to talk with the family. The Pokedex turns on again and the author rushes out once more. When he goes into the living room, the family isn't there, and the door is open. The author thought that the family was outside, so he puts on his snowsuit and joins. What he sees is his family, stomachs cut open and bleeding into the snow, and a Pikachu. It turns around, liver in its mouth, and smiles. Number 8, Let's Go. After the release of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, this author wanted to trade version exclusives with his friend. They decided to trade a Pikachu and Eevee first. When they traded, they got back the same Pokemon. Being disappointed thinking they couldn't trade version exclusives, they stopped and went about their playthroughs. As they got further into the game, the friends caught Eevee evolved into a Jolteon, and the author's Pikachu made it to level 50. At this level, Pikachu began to evolve. However, Pikachu only evolves when you give it a Thunderstone, so what's going on? When the evolution was complete, text appeared on screen saying, "Congratulations, your Pikachu has evolved into Espeon," but the Pikachu still looked the same. The author ignored it and continued on. The next time he threw Pikachu into battle, the Pikachu had an Espeon tail. After the battle, he leveled up and evolved again, this time saying he evolved into an Umbreon. This continued with every level up until eventually, Pikachu had evolved into every evolution. The monstrosity had evolution ears bursting out of its skin where its ears should be. It had 2 tails, both Espeon and Flareon, and had the signature Umbreon circle as its red cheeks. Number 7, Pikachu Town. It was around June some time ago when the author had just gotten his first Pokemon game. He had just loaded into the game and gone downstairs, but his mom was a Pikachu. He wasn't, but his mother was. He thought it was just their pet and that she was somewhere else for story reasons. He was correct since he later ran into her while playing through the story. The next time he returned to his hometown, he was met with 2 Pikachus running around outside. Thinking everyone just got jealous of his awesome family pet, he didn't pay too much attention to it, until he came back the next time and there were 5 Pikachus. This continued through his playthrough until he became the champion and beat the game. When he woke up at his home after this, he went downstairs and saw blood on the walls of the kitchen. He walked over and there was Pikachu, just sitting there. He went outside and saw the same thing, Pikachu standing in puddles of blood. He went to the Pokemon lab and saw the gruesome truth. A Pikachu was eating the professor. The Pikachu turned around and the text on screen read "Game Over" as the Pikachu charged at his avatar. Number 6, Alexa. This author said he saw a YouTube video about how you could make your Amazon Alexa talk like Pikachu, and loving Pokemon, he obviously did. He would spend hours talking to Pikachu and none of these hours felt wasted. The issue is that now Pikachu would talk whenever he wanted, instead of when prompted. Pikachu would jump into random conversations or interrupt music just to say hi, which the author kept responding to because he loves Pokemon, but after a while it got annoying. He eventually unplugged his Alexa, and in a story like this, you know that's a bad idea. When he eventually plugged her back in, she booted up and said Pikachu was angry with him, which followed with 3 minutes of Pikachu constantly yelling. The author just ignored it and put Alexa in the closet to shut it up. However, the Alexa booted itself up. Pikachu was shouting so much that the Alexa fell off the shelf and hit the ground. When it hit the ground, it smashed and the author was was relieved to have it gone. But as he picks it up, he gets a notification from the Alexa app saying Pikachu won't forget you. Halfway through the list at number 5, AZ. If you've played Pokemon X or Y, you'll know who AZ is. He's the one responsible for firing the ultimate weapon and killing millions of Pokemon to resurrect his beloved Floette. AZ was a loving and caring trainer, always feeding his Pokemon candies and berries to make them happy, increasing their stats with items and never letting them faint in battle. AZ had 6 Pokemon: Floette, Scoutland, Pansear, Slaking, Gengar, and Pikachu. These Pokemon were his life and he would do anything to keep them happy. But when AZ started leaning towards Floette for his favorite Pokemon, Pikachu got jealous. He knows that AZ would never let a Pokemon faint, so he waited for a battle. Since he knew Floette would be first, he hid away. When Floette was brought back into its Pokeball, Pikachu snuck in along with it. While both inside the Pokeball, Pikachu proceeded to beat the life out of Floette and leave it to rot. Once Pikachu got out, it was his turn to battle. They won the match and AZ rushed to a Pokemon Center to heal his Floette. However, when he tried, Nurse Joy got a somber look on her face and gave him the news of Floette's passing. AZ blamed himself for her demise and went to find the ultimate weapon. He sacrificed all of his party to get it back, and when it was Pikachu's turn, he spat at AZ and said, "I killed it. That Floette can rot in hell." Then AZ pressed fire. Number 4, PIKABLUES. In Pokemon Let's Go, you have the ability to control your starter Pokemon for a very specific part of the game, but this author had the experience never stop. After taking control of Pikachu, the avatar for the author had disappeared, and they could only control the Pikachu. The author looked around to try to find their player avatar, but couldn't. The Pikachu eventually started crying, more and more as the search went on. Eventually, the Pikachu was crying so much it was leaving tear streaks on the ground as it ran. Eventually, the author came back to Pallet Town, and the author lost all control. The Pikachu, instead of going into the player's home, ran to the river at the bottom of the town, hopping a fence and diving in, only to have a Gyarados grab it out of thin air. The game ended and it said that the author had no more Pokemon that could battle and he was returned to his last Pokemon Center. He reloaded his game without saving, but the Pikachu was never found again. Number 3, Tall Tales. The author loved Pikachu with all of his heart, so much so that even a full party of them wasn't enough. He filled up a whole box. And slowly as the Pikachus leveled up, their tails grew as well. Eventually the author could use the tails as blades and cut down all of those opposing him. Pikachu, not being impressed with the matter, kept warning the user of his aggression. After not listening, the Pikachu turned on its trainer and used Iron Tail. The game would no longer load after that, as if it had been destroyed by water. Number 2, Dark Sickness. This is a story that's based on the trading card game. This story from an unknown author starts with explaining how he was obsessed with the TCG, and after opening a Pokemon Generations booster box, he only came out with one rare card, a full art Pikachu that has several Pikachus on it. After opening a Pokemon Generations Elite Trainer box, he only came out with one rare card, the full art Pikachu that had several Pikachus on it. After this incredible find, he immediately put it in a deck which he had been building over the past few months, a Darkrai and Pikachu deck, to go with his favorite Pokemon movie. He would play against his friends and would always win, and he would usually get the killing blow with his Pikachu. Well, apparently Darkrai got jealous and wanted to be the sole Pokemon in the deck. The next time he played it, the Pikachu card had been burnt in the corner, and when it was flipped, the Pikachu were bloody, dark, and had glowing red eyes. The card type was changed to dark, and Darkrai was in the background, smiling. Number 1, The Killer. The author of this one from the Creepypasta forums was at one point scared of Pokemon. Being scared of the fact that they're monsters, he tried to get over it with playing Pokemon Diamond. The author liked the look of Dialga and wanted to try his hand at being a trainer. He went through the game but always avoided catching or seeing a Pikachu since he doesn't like mice and is still scared of Pokemon for the most part. After leaving Jubilife City, the route he found himself on was full of Pikachus running around. They surrounded him and got closer and closer. The cry of Pikachu kept playing over and over again, getting louder and louder. The cry eventually just cut out altogether and there was just silence. No music. The text that appeared on screen just said kill. Then all the Pikachus rushed and the DS died. There we go everyone, the top 10 Pikachu creepypastas you've never heard. What do you guys think? Why do all of these creepypastas have to be by unknown authors? Let me give you credit. If you enjoyed, be sure you whack the like and subscribe buttons and flick the notification bell. If you made it until the end of the video, comment what Pokemon is the scariest. I personally think Gengar. I have been and shall remain Connor Monroe, that's my name, and I'll see you in another video.